Welcome back, everyone. This is MandoAllDay, back with another video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Man-Bat. This is from the DC Rebirth era. As always, we're going to be taking a look at the figure itself in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint, and if it's worth the purchase or not. But before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to support the channel to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at the box. If what the box looks like, the side, the back, which is a very cool image. And again, you can probably cut this out, kind of have like a display. It's pretty cool. The other side, top, and bottom. All right, now let's take a look at the figure outside the box. As always, they do come with a card. This is the front of the card looks like for Man-Bat. The back of the card. It comes with no accessories, and of course it comes with a regular stand. So let's take a look at Man-Bat. And I gotta say though, that face looks really menacing and just looks creepy. I do like the red eyes. The red eyes look very good. The teeth, the detail on the teeth looks very good. Of course, that gloss paint inside his mouth, that tongue with the purple. Also on his ears. The detail on this facial expression. I'm sorry, there we go. The facial expression right here. The nose, also his hair, also the fur is very thick fur, which I really like. The ears are very detailed. This is a really good sculpted man or vampire. In terms of the head articulation, it's just kind of like a sideways type of thing. There's two parts to it. There's this part right here that moves, and also the head. You can see that. So keep that in mind. In terms of up and down, there really much isn't up and down. It's kind of like a lean forward type of thing in terms of articulation. But the paint, though, it's just really good. Very clean looking paint. You got some browns, some dark browns, some light browns every now and then, just to kind of give that look of fur. But the head sculpture, really cool, man. I really dig it. That fur, though, which I'll show you in a bit, but that fur is very thick, though. Overall, in terms of the head sculpture, really good, very defined head sculpture. I really dig it. The paint's good. It's very plain, unfortunately, in some parts, like you're here in the front. Not much else, just one solid paint. But everything else, again, we'll see in a bit. Very good, though. And especially that teeth. I really like the detail in the teeth. So, like I said, head articulation is okay. The paint is, I wish it was a little bit more on the face. But the sculpture design is really cool. Let's take a look at the arm articulation. Arm articulation, it's good. There is no bicep. There is elbow. If I can move it, there you go. You can see it. And of course, actually that's it. There is no wrist articulation. So keep that in mind. So there is no bicep articulation, no wrist articulation, just elbows and shoulders. So that is unfortunate. So you do have limited articulation in terms of the arms. But just look at the wings. So look at all of that detail. It looks very cool. Again, that fur. You can really feel the hair on him. It's pretty thick, especially here on the back. But look at all of that detail. Just looks really cool. And like I said, the fur or his hair, however you want to call it, you got some browns, light browns, dark browns, and you get it all mixed in. So it just looks really cool in that fur. Just look at all that. And again, it's very thick. That's what I like about it. Really thick. Even on the back as well, too, you can see more of that fur. It's just really thick, and I really like it. And of course, the main highlight is going to be the wings. Again, very detailed, very veiny on it. Very good. And it's just one solid paint. I wish there was maybe some little bit of dark browns in some spots, so that way the wing can really pop, though. Now, I thought these actually expanded. They really don't, unfortunately. It has, well, there's two kind of wings. I'll show you guys what I mean. So you can see this is one part of it, and then there's this part of it. This one doesn't move at all, just there. Same with this. But I thought this could actually expand it, which if it did, that would be really cool. But unfortunately, they don't expand. They're just there. So that is unfortunate, but it's not a big deal. But when you switch your arms like that, kind of give that wing look, which looks really cool. But again, unfortunately, in terms of the arm articulation, it is limited. Wish this was extended. But apart from that, very detailed on the sculpture. The paint on the arms is clean looking. Not too much paint. Obviously, the main highlight is going to be that fur. Again, just looks really cool. which I really like. Let's take a look at the torso articulation. There is our torso articulation. A lot to the front, but to the back, you get very limited, so keep that in mind. So, in terms of the torso, again, a lot of detailed abdomen. You got more of the veins on there too. Again, overall, articulation, the detail on it is really good. It's very sculpted, very, very well. Very, very muscle. It definitely works out at the back. Just look at all that muscle. It's really, really thick. So overall, in terms of the upper body, I'm kind of mixed on this one because I do like the fur. Really cool. I do like the paint on the face. Really cool. But some of the wing paint is kind of like bland. So, okay, one colored piece. Same here in the torso area. The wings, it's, again, they look cool, but they're kind of like, the only time you can make it look really good if you have it like this, or you can bend the elbows, which I'm kind of trying to do right now, but I can't because they're pretty stiff. But you can bend a little more of the elbows in, and you can make this stick out a little bit more. So that's the only time it looks really cool. But apart from that, I don't know. I'm just kind of about the wings. I wish it expanded. That would have been really, really cool if it did. Similar to Hawkman, where you can move it. I thought it was something similar to that, but it isn't though. But overall, though, upper body, I gotta say, though, it's cool. I really like the sculpture design. The sculpture design, to me, is really, really good. The paint, some parts are good. Like I said, some parts are just kind of like, eh. But overall, cool-looking figure, man. The upper body. I dig it. I think it looks good. There's just a lot of potential on here, and it was just missed for me. Let's take a look at the belt, if there's anything. In terms of the belt, just a little bright silver right there. And that's pretty much it. Leg articulation, it's good. Knees, it's good. Ankles, good. Mine's a little loose, which I'll talk about that in a bit. And toes, good. So in terms of the detail on the legs, again, very jean look, similar to Frankenstein, where he has that jean look, which I like. And I like about it is it has some ripped parts to it, which is really, really cool. I really dig. Similar to the pants there, but I noticed the pant color is different there than here, so it's not a big deal. It's just, I get why they did that, because I think if they did it with that color of pants, it would kind of all blend in, and it wouldn't look that good, unfortunately, so it is what it is, though. It's not a big of a deal, but overall, the detail on the pants, again, I liked it. You can see the pockets there. I do like the rip there. I wish there was more ripping on the back. That would have looked really cool, like right there. They would have painted that a small brown. That would have looked really good, but again, missed opportunity, unfortunately. But in terms of the leg detail, again, still got the same color, just like here, that brown color to it. And of course, the feet, a little bit detail on the feet. I wish the toe maybe were glossy, similar to Killer Croc, but it is what it is. So now the one thing I'm kind of like about it is this is very top heavy. So when you look at it, the knees are bent, and unfortunately, my ankles are very, very, very loose, so it's hard to keep them up because of the loose joint, because again, these are so, look at that, just I'm not even putting a lot of pressure on it, and they're already kind of flicking over. So it's not a big deal in terms of the figure. I can pretty sure put some, I forget what it's called, but like some kind of liquid, put it on the joints, and it'll kind of make it stiff it more. But it's very top, very similar to Joker Titan, but at least Joker Titan had really big legs, so you can kind of work with it. For this one, though, you got those ankles and the legs, but yet very top-heavy figure. So something to keep in mind. It's something that I noticed right away, because I can barely stand it when I was setting up for this portion of the video. Any sort of movement like it is right now, any movement will tip them off. So, and I don't want to mess up everything else. But overall, though, my opinion on this figure, I'm kind of torn, because there is some like a lot of potential in this figure. There's very, very detailed sculpture. I really dig it. But some of the paint, though, I just... For instance, look at the comic right there. Hopefully you can see... Oh, you know what? I can't show you on the card, but if you notice the wing right there where I'm pointing at, notice that the lines are dark brown and everything else is like a light brown. Maybe if McFarlane did that, where like this would have been like a dark brown or darker brown, and then the rest could have been brown, it would have stand out more. But to me, it just looks kind of like, looks plain. But again, though, the potential is there. That's what I like about this figure. The potential there is there. Just look at the detail, the veins. Same thing right here, too. There's a lot of detail in the figure, but it just kind of... I don't know, there's some parts where just like something's missing. That makes sense. And again, similar to the pants, you can see the ripping here. You know, if you would have painted this, again, it would have popped from the back view too, but it is what it is. And like I said, the wings, I wish they expanded similar to Hawkman, but they're just there. And the one time that looks really cool is when you have something posed like this, which looks really cool, menacing, and definitely evil looking. But when you have it kind of posing like so, it just kind of, it looks cool, but I don't know, something's missing about it. So overall, my opinion on it, I like the figure. I would say yes, get it. Maybe get it on sale. I probably offended so many people by me saying this. Sorry, I'm putting it on the stand. But I'm pretty sure I offended a lot of people by me saying that. But look, I'd rather be honest and give you my honest opinion. And to me, for this figure, for Man-Bat, I think, in terms of judging the figure itself, I would say it's a cool figure. I like the sculpture, a lot of potential. It's just some parts that are just kind of eh. I'm kind of about it. Like I really like some parts, like I said. Others I'm just kind of whatever. To me, I'll break it down like this: is it worth the $40? For me personally, I don't think it's worth the $40, in my opinion. Is it worth $35? Okay, that's what I paid for, $35. I think that's a fair price for the size of the figure and little details in there that are really, really good. If you can get this figure for $30 or less, I think that's a really good deal. I think that's based on what I'm seeing here, I think for $30, I think it's a really good deal. But for me, 40, I just wouldn't pay for 40. There's just something about it just doesn't really stand out. It's a cool figure that's big, and I like it. I appreciate having Man-Bat, but I just wanted something, you know, like something menacing. It just, it's hard to explain. Hopefully it makes sense. If you guys know what I'm referring to, leave it in the comment section below. But that's just how I feel about Man-Bat. If you can get it for $30, I think that's definitely worth the purchase at $30. But 40, I don't think so, man, in my opinion. And I probably offended a lot of people. So let's take a look at some other figures compared to this one. We'll start off with, and he's going to fall. Again, the joints are really, really loose, which is unfortunate. I don't know how I'm going to pose him, so. All right, here we go. We got him to pose. He's probably going to fall. And then we'll start off with Batman here. We have Batman from the Justice League movie, and then we have Man-Bat. So you can see the height comparison. Definitely a lot taller, a lot bigger than Batman, but again, it's a fantastic looking Batman. I remember buying this one and people were saying, oh, it doesn't look good, but yet it sold out very quickly. Let's have them do a face-off with each other. I might not be able to do face-off for all of them because, again, the joints are so loose, it's probably going to tip over, but there you go, you can see it better. We have Batman and Man-Bat face-off. Really, really cool. Now, let's do Hawkman here. And just like I said about the wings, Hawkman, you can remove them and you can actually extend them like so. And if this figure had this, I think it would have been really cool because you could be really creative with it. But it is what it is though. So here we have Hawkman, which he might fall. Hopefully he doesn't. Face off with Man-Bat. Really good figure. It just really pops, especially with that gold color. Really, really cool, man. I really like that gold. And we'll do a front pose, and he's going to fall. Hopefully he doesn't fall. I'm more concerned about Man-Bat because the joints are very loose on the ankles. But you can see the height comparison there in the wings. Alright, now let's do Frankenstein, which we did a video not long ago. And you can see the height difference. He's definitely a lot taller. But of course, Man-Bat is wider. Just look at that V body. That V shape on that body. See that? That V right there? You can definitely tell. There's a lot of upper strength, man. And of course, we're going to do the face-off. Hopefully, it does not fall. So you can see, that'll be a really cool fight. Man-Bat versus Frankenstein. Just go beat it at each other and just beat the crap out of each other. I'm all in for it. Sign me up for that. Alright, now let's take a look at very armed Nemesis here. We got Reverse Flash, which he might tip over to the side a little bit. And we have Man-Bat there. The really, really cool fight. You got a big, muscular guy versus Reverse Flash. They'd be really, really cool. And we'll do the front page, which again, he might fall because he's a little bit leaning. Hopefully he doesn't. You guys can see the height comparison. Another, I think, yeah, I believe this is another Rebirth one, which I really, really like this figure. Oh no. Then we have this figure. I believe this one's called Dark Knight. I can't remember, but this is from the Speed Metals Build-A-Figure. A weird looking one and very difficult to pose because, again, the way the angled is, it's just very difficult, and it's kind of like, ugh. It's cool and very detailed. It's just very difficult to pose because the way it's angled, it just looks really weird. But in terms of height, he is taller. Not a whole lot, but he is taller. But obviously, this is definitely more masculine. And we'll do a face-off, which hopefully doesn't fall. And then, there you go. You can see the height difference and also the detail compared to this Build-A-Figure one. And again, I forgot the name of it. Leave it in the comment section in terms of the name of this Build-A-Figure. This is from the Speed Metals. The Build-A-Figure for Solomon Grundy from the Arkham City, I believe Arkham City Build-A-Figure wave. So you can see that, the detail and the height comparison. In terms of the height, Man-Bat is a little bit taller, but again, he kind of is slouched forward, so that's probably the reason why. But if he was standing up straight, he'd definitely be a lot taller. Man-Bat definitely wider, and of course, you have Solomon Grundy here, definitely big as well too. Both very detailed, but just look at the detail. I don't get why people so hate Solomon Grundy. People saying he's not detailed. Just look at the detail comparison to this Build-A-Figure. It looks really, really cool. Overall, like I said, I like this figure. I think it looks cool. There's some parts to it I wish it could improve. I'm kind of torn. So overall, like I said, I think to me for 30 bucks, it's a good price. Is it worth the 40? In my opinion, no. If you can get it for cheaper than 30 bucks, I think you're set. I think 35 is a price. That's what I paid for. 30 bucks, I think to me is a good deal. So it is what it is. You can hate as much as you want, but that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with this figure? Do you plan to purchase this figure? Or do you already purchase this figure? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. This includes an overview of Man-Bat from the DC Rebirth era, and on to the next one.